But particularly, the United States is concerned and outraged by the ongoing slaughter of thousands of Christians in Nigeria by various ethnic militias in the Middle Belt, as well as terrorists like Boko Haram and ISIS West Africa in the north. It is tragic and it is unacceptable. Churches are burning, villages are being razed, thousands are killed, clergy murdered simply for wearing a cross, for being a Christian, for daring to say they worship Jesus as Christ. Just yesterday, 25 little girls were kidnapped from their school, and one school official murdered trying to protect them, from MAGA Comprehensive Girls Secondary School in Kebbi State. Colleagues, this is happening. It's undeniable, and it's unacceptable. The United States condemns these attacks in the strongest terms, and it demands accountability. And as President Trump has made clear, we will not stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria. The government of Nigeria must take immediate steps and do more to increase security, respond to early warnings, end impunity, and address the drivers of violence.
When 200 people were murdered, killed in a church. Now, I want to ask this. So, one question was, did things improve? I think the answer is no on that. Here's the question. Proportionally, do we see Christians killing Muslims in Christian areas of Nigeria the way that we are seeing radicalized Islamists killing Christians in Muslim areas of Nigeria?
What I can tell you, Representative Huizenga, is that Christians are disproportionately targeted based on their population.
Exactly. And by the way, for those that you can't pick up with the microphones, there's audible yeses behind you. Again, the people that are watching who are nodding their heads. Why? Because they have lived this. Their families have lived this. I went to school with kids from Nigeria. I've got neighbors who've been missionaries there, who have family there, who have friends there, who know this is going on. Yet we've got not just the mass media, we got people within Congress denying that this is happening, or certainly de-emphasizing it. It ought to be outrageous that it is Christians, moderate Muslims, anyone being terrorized by these radicalized Islamists in Nigeria, and we've got the Tinubu government sitting back and not doing enough. And I recently just was interviewed by Nigerian television, Arise TV, and that was really their question. Is the Tinubu government doing enough? And I had to answer, no, they are not. And I do not understand how a delegation can come here to the United States and downplay and come up with all of these other excuses as to why this is allowed to happen. It should be rejected and should be called out for what it is. And I've got a couple of other questions that my time has expired that I'm going to have to go and ask for them in written responses. But one of them I need to highlight is in Benue State, there's 1.4 million people who are considered internally displaced. Understanding that the administration has supported refugee assistance in dozens of other countries since taking office, what humanitarian assistance support are you providing or plan to provide to the IDPs in Benue and Taraba states, where many of those Christian communities reside? And I'll have to take the answer in writing. And Mr. Chairman, with your indulgence, just to show the breadth of this, I want to submit for the record remarks from the chairman of the Financial Services Committee, French Hill from Arkansas, who also serves on the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, the Intel Committee. And I serve as vice chair of the Committee of Financial Services. This is where many of those sanctions originate and the enforcement. And I will say this, sanctions are only as good as your willingness to enforce them. And as the chairman has pointed out, there are ways to get out of those sanctions. And that's through correct your behavior. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to submit the letter. Thank you. And with that, I yield back.
Yeah, glory be to God. I remember humble self, Biafra and evangelist, and I will continue to speak. My beloved brother, what you saw regarding to the judgment of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has proven on a reasonable in every area that of a truth the Igbos are being marginalized in this country, Igbos are being hated in this country, Igbos are being humiliated in this country, Igbos are being oppressed in this country, Igbos are being intimidated in this country. Take a look at it. What did the Mazen Nnamdi Kanu commit? That they are giving him a life sentence. Whereas the people are killing, videoing it, as then they play the show. Even as we speak now, yet federal government have not done anything. But Omotosho, the Yoruba man, was muzzling himself against the Igbo man. That is to tell you, I love what is happening, and it is a clear evidence that the IPOB are not terrorists, neither are they the problem of Nigeria, neither is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu the problem of Nigeria. The judgment of the pronounced against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu shows that the hatred that they have against the Igbo man. And it shows that Nigeria doesn't have constitution. And it shows that how ridiculous our judiciary can be. And it shows that we don't have, we are actually a lawless nation, Nigeria. That is what it means. So, as I speak to you, my beloved brother, the UN and the US is seriously working, and they are coming to do the needful in this country, to do that which the enemies of success and progress, because even as they are coming and they are coming against the terrorists, is that not so? And they are not ready to work or to partner with Nigeria because Nigerian government is corrupt. Nigerian military is corrupt. They are terrorists. When you talk of the terrorism, they are the terrorists. Because you can't take it. How can these terrorists are wearing Nigerian uniform? Take a look of the kidnapping. They even wrote to them, the military men that are there, what happened? 10 minutes for them to come and carry out their evil activities, they left. That means they collaborate. That means they work hand to hand. They work together, they partner together. That is what it means.
Is Nigeria's biggest mistake, integrating this Boko Haram into the military?
Of course.
Is that a downfall?
Yes. That's the beginning of Nigerian failure. And that is the beginning of the government failure. And that is the beginning of military failure. Because the chief of defense and chief of staff have the right to say, these people, we don't need them into our system. They can even tell Mr. President, if they themselves are not one of them. Do you get me? It's because that they are part of them, and that is why they allow them into military and give them uniform and give them arms, equipment. Was it not last year that about 9 Boko Haram that was integrated into Nigerian army that made away with heavy equipment of military arms? 9 of them went away with it. And what happened? Does it stop Nigeria from including them again, recruiting them again into military? And what did they even do under the watch of the retired CDS Musa? What did he do? He was supposed to send the soldiers to go and hunt for those 9 Boko Haram that went away with the Nigerian military arms, equipment, heavy ones. But instead of doing that, he waved it off. And that is what part of what they are using to attack today. And it shows how unserious and how failure Nigerian government is. How can you be negotiating with bandits at the same time giving them money? Where is it done in the world? You negotiate with bandits, you give them money, they never even drop their arms. When you say you are giving them amnesty, you did not collect arms from them, And instead of collecting arms for them, you even give them money to acquire more arms. Are you not supporting them? Are you not the one financing them? Are you not the one promoting them? So where do you stand to deny? I love what happened yesterday, and you can see NSA, Nigerian security advisor, in person of Ribadu, the former EFCC boss. Am I right? He was the former EFCC boss. Look at yesterday. I learned that he was busy just signing documents. Busy signing documents. They went there with Bianca to go and defend, to tell lies, to defend that what is happening is not. But when evidence they cannot, so they are now begging, pleading that Nigeria should not be splitted, that Nigeria should not be divided, that they should not ask Igbos to go. But these are the people you say they are your enemy. These are the people you say that they are the one disturbing the nation. And you are begging now that these people, this same set of people that you tag terrorists, should not go. Why won't we go? If truly we are part of Nigeria, should Mazen Nnamdi Kanu be treated the way he was treated? They should have started from Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Treat him as a citizen, if actually he is a citizen of this country. If actually he is regarded, if actually they really want to play the game of one Nigeria they call saga, scam, hatred, oppression, and suppression. The whole game plays, and it is obvious that every, including fowl or cocoa, condemns that very act. And at the same time, including lizard from Igbo land, have seen it of a truth that they are being hated in this country. So we have to go. This one, they are begging that Nigeria should remain one. We don't want. We have made up our mind. Take a look at what is happening in Lagos. Take a look at what is happening in Kaduna. Take a look at what is happening in Abuja. Take a look at what Wike did against the Igbos. In Obigbo, when he was governor. He even repeated it that the same way the treatment he gave the Igbos when he was a governor, the same treatment he will give them in Abuja, which he did in FCT, which he did. Then take a look at the small boy, because that one belongs to North. That land belongs to North. Look at the small boy he went and confront. Is it not Yariba or Yare? Yariba, his name. Yariba. See the small boy of 21 years to 22 years. That is the person that they use to ridicule Wike. And Wike come back on media and begin to talk rubbish. They chew mouth. Tell me, had it been that Wike is that boy is an Igbo man, they will kill the boy immediately. And it been that the man that owned that very place is an Igbo man, would Wike leave that place untouched? Will Nigerian government, turn their back against Wike? Will they just forget the matter like that? But see the way, including the chief of defense, the new promoted one now, is even heading the guy. But Wike has failed as well to realize that the place that Nigerian government has placed him, they are still seeing him and regarding him as an Eastern man. That is the case. What does Bola Ahmed Tinubu say or do regard to that? Nothing. That is to tell you, they still know you, they still regard you as an Eastern man. Baba, man. That is why if you can be doing to your own brothers. But when they come to North or any other, you see them reacting. And that is what happened between him and Yariba. When Wike was pulling down, destroying Igbo people's property, did you see any action taken by any even government? Take a look at what the one they are doing in Lagos here and the one they did to P2B brother. Up to today, what has God to do? What has Nigeria do? What has Lagos State? Nothing. Nothing. But that one, Fulani reacts. Bola Ahmed Tinubu quiet. Chief of Defense quiet. Every corner they support the small boy. Now only Wike standing now. Imagine something that make Wike to open up his mouth and say, if you cannot defend me, I better resign. Who beg you? They already tell her, oh yeah, resign, Kukuma resign. That is to tell you what Wike has failed to understand. Wike no get sense. And that is the state we are in now. So Biafra must go. Let America come. We want to go. We cannot remain We cannot remain. You know, there is something that Mazen Nandekano said one certain earlier. He said, you want me, if you want me, maybe presidency or whatsoever, are you going to allow me to rule for the years that you people have been ruling? That's the question. Are they going to give that? If they are ready to sign that, then Mazen Nandekano will become the president of Nigeria for life. If they can give that, allow that such condition, then we remain as one for life president. After him, his son or another from Igbo land. If they are not ready for that, we are going. We are ready to divide because we are not the one. We are not the one causing the insecurity. The Fulanis, the Yorubas are the one causing problem in this country. You can see it now, and that is what is playing.
But do you think that the division, the solution to this problem in Nigeria now, even though the Americans or the American come, do you think the only solution is division? Or do you think even if they come, they help us solve this problem, do you think that will be the end? Do you think that, or do you think that division is still the best solution for all this?
Yes, division is the best solution. Do you know why I'm saying this? If they come now and use political, do whatsoever without dividing this country, there is every tendency of these people still coming back to their old way to continue that same activities that we reject. And that time they will now hold us by what we sign. Because now they will come into a political aspect of it. They will seek the concept of Igbo man, seek the concept of the Yoruba, seek the concept of the Fulanis. That time they will say, we say before that our concept was not, seeked. Neither do we endorse our signature on that time. But now, look at your own agree. So what are you now saying? That means you concur. You understand? So the best option, and that will be the last option and forever option, is for Nigeria to do what? To divide. Divide us. Everybody answer your father's name. We have died, we have sacrificed much. We cannot continue to sacrifice to this country that doesn't want it.
When it comes to Fulani issues, the security of this nation, they turn their face away. But when it comes to us, with their 2 eyes, with their whole ammunition, tanks, they will invade our village.
Seconds left. I would urge the Nigerian government to take a look at pardoning Sunday Jackson, who is an individual who was fighting for his own life, defending his life against one of these Fulani militants. That Fulani militant lost his life in that struggle, and now that person, Sunday Jackson, is facing the death penalty. Now, where's the justice in that? Where is the justice in that? And all these Fulani militants are breaking the law. They are breaking Nigerian law. And so this Sunday Jackson disarms this person with a knife, protects his own life. He's going to prison and now faces the death penalty. And Fulani militants just roaming bands of them with AK-47s, and that's no problem. You are so right about this question of prioritization. I know I'm over time, Mr. Chairman, but I appreciate the time.
Thank you so much, Mr.
The invasion of the U.S. military will lead to total disintegration of Nigeria. The fire has already been ignited, not by Donald Trump, not by United States of America, but by the inaction of the Nigerian government to take a decisive decision on this issue now that has gotten the global and world attention. It has actually escalated, not by anybody, by people who felt that the world need to get their attention over what is going on, and the Nigerian government seems to be pretending over the killings, that is happening in almost nooks and crannies of Nigeria. Most of them are being covered up without the media reporting about it. Now it has gotten to this level. What Bola Ahmed Tinubu it seems to be trying to do now is to do a sort of damage control, but it is vertically too late. You are not going to blame this thing on Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Nobody should blame Mazen Nnamdi Kanu for this global attention Nigeria is getting over the killings of Christians to an extent, that is being tagged Christian genocide. So there's a simple disagreement between the government of Nigeria, the people of Nigeria, and the international communities and the world leaders and the world powers. So Nigeria can have not been able to come out and definitely prove a certain point, that what the United States of America is talking about Christian genocide in Nigeria is not correct. Every form of defense they wanted to put up, have crashed and have failed, woefully. So the president of Nigeria now is on a point of, trying to do a sort of damage control, trying to organize, mobilize the southern part of the country, to a one political structure, why the North is maintaining and laying ambush of what is going to happen at the end of the day. So it might lead to total breakup at the end of the day, where there may not be any possible, solution anymore, because the intervention of foreign powers, would dismantle anything that has to do with sovereignty of Nigeria, and also we enrolled, the presidential powers, given to Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the commander-in-chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, who has not been able, to tame or to curtail or possibly, stop the killing that's associated to jihadists, banditry, Boko Haram, and name them, all manner of things, that is going on now. So it's a very clear fact that definitely the Nigerian government will not be able to meet the 2 weeks ultimatum, given by the United States of America, to make sure that everything is rounded up and that is a internal security and improvement in terms of human rights and all violations. And secondly, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be, automatically, released, either hook or crook. They don't want to know how the government want to do that, because every findings and facts points to the direction, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not being tried based on law. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being tried based on his vocal and exposure of atrocities and criminality carried out in Nigeria by a system that does not understand what it means to be a nation and to provide leadership to that extent. So and you can see, the atmosphere, the trajectory, is heading towards that side of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nigerians are celebrating him, in all ramifications. He has become a hero, and this national consciousness about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's freedom now is going to play out on whatever decision, judgment that the government of Nigeria is going to pass on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So what it definitely means that, there are different departments. I think United States Department of War has already readied action and in that regard. So what we are seeing is, gradual deployment of the Marine U.S. forces in Nigeria, gradual deployment of the U.S. SEAL, gradual deployment of the U.S. artillery, gradual, military surveillance on all the targets they need to do. But once there's any strike and there's any reaction, either by omission or commission, by any forces, whether be it ISIS, whether be it the military or police or whatever, it will lead to a certain decision that okay, at this point in time now, this is the boundary and these are no-go areas, and that is what the Nigerian government is actually afraid of. Nigerian government should not be afraid of Nigerian breakup, because we have gotten to the point of no return, where the international community and powerful nations are beginning to intervene on the issue that has to do with Nigerian sovereignty and unity. Then it becomes a serious concern for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Unfortunately, it is going to happen under Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, and to an extent, it has not actually been able to galvanize a massive push to make sure that some of these security challenges are nipped out of the system completely. So the United States of America is angry, and they are looking at options. Like they said very clearly, Mario said it very clearly, I think the chief of staff to Donald Trump, that they are looking at full options and they are giving Donald Trump full options. Those full options is that, you know, in case this one fail, this one would not actually.
But a lot of people are saying this, the American military in Nigeria, and they're ready to strike. But do you not think that when they strike, the Muslim DRGs there in the north might attack other regions, the other tribes there in the northern part of Nigeria?
Yes. So that is the fear. But you know, with NATO forces, United Nations forces, and other ECOWAS and AU are going to be mobilized in that direction, including Sahel nations. Forces are going to be mobilized in that direction. There will be peaceful disintegration of Nigeria, and that is why they fear that the United States of America will have their base, military base here in Nigeria to supervise. That military base in Nigeria is going to supervise the disintegration, peaceful disintegration of Nigeria, and the Nigerian government needs to understand that, you know, that this is not a matter of sovereignty. If it's a matter of sovereignty, we have seen also Nigeria, you know, violating, you know, international treaties and sovereignty of so many nations, like the one we witnessed in Kenya, where they invaded Kenya and kidnapped, you know, a British Nigerian citizen, Nnamdi Kanu. You know, so that is also a pointer that if Nigeria can do that, and of course, United States can do that, and it's one of the United States, you know, international policies to take down any terrorist organization anywhere in the world, irrespective whether you are a sovereign nation or not. It is a policy of the United States of America. After, you know, what happened at the World Trade Center, where a plane flew into the two tallest buildings in the world, and that was how America arrived at that international policy. So America have every right. In fact, you know, if there's no other place, you know, see, that's what we need currently. Now we need it definitely. You know, this is not. I don't want to see a situation that a process will be set on ground, and you see Nigeria will happen to that process. You know what I mean? You know, by compromising the process and also compromising or trying to make the United States government, you know, to have another direction or reserve the right of that invasion. Currently now, 37 US lawmakers are already endorsing disintegration of Nigeria. No, but the fact is that, you know, are they saying that the southern part of the Nigeria, you know, including the Yorubas themselves, will be named Biafra, and you know, the other part, whatever it is, because once that is happened, the entire circle of the Middle Belt is definitely going to be empty, and because we are going to see more of them, you know, leaving that hemisphere, northern hemisphere, and heading to where their faith and their religious culture and tradition will be protected, and they are seeing Biafra as the only nation, as the only country, you know, sovereignty that can protect, you know, and allow them to consolidate and have existence with Biafra.